Hello, if you have been following along lately, you know that I have been making one beaded square a day in what I'm calling my 100 days of beading project. The whole idea of the project is to not have a pattern. I have no pattern in mind at all. I start with a color scheme, of course, but then from there, I'm really just choosing where each bead goes intuitively as I do it. And the idea is to sort of free your mind when you're beading and to really use it and embrace it as a meditative practice. I think it's a really great way to keep yourself in the moment. It's a great mindfulness practice. And that's why I have created this project. So for all the people who have been asking me for patterns, there are no patterns for this project because it's literally just coming out of my imagination in the moment. But I am going to show you how to make a square. I hadn't shown a video of how to make one of these squares before because I do have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel here about making peyote stitch bracelets and necklaces and all sorts of things. So I thought that all the people following me already know how to do it, but I have had so many requests that I have broken down, and I'm going to show you how to make one of these squares. So let's take a look at our supplies and let me show you how to do this so hopefully you can incorporate it into your mindfulness practice too. So I'm using Fireline beading thread. You could use whatever beading thread you have on hand and whatever kind of beads you have. I have a size 12 beading needle, and I am using size 11 Delica seed beads. It's Miyuki Delica seed beads is the brand. And I'm going to cut about an arm's length of my Fireline, and I'm going to thread my needle. And then I am going to pick up a bead that isn't one of the colors I'm using, and I'm going to make this into a stopper bead. This will just keep your beads from falling off, so it doesn't matter what bead it is. You just kind of want it to be a different color so it doesn't get in your way. So I'm going to bring that down towards the end of my thread, and then I bring my needle back through it to create a little loop. So when we pull that tight, this is what we have, and that should be able to slide back and forth because we're going to pull it off pretty soon. So to begin, I have 18 beads. So pick up 18 beads in whatever pattern you want and whatever quantity you want of each color. You should just be intuitive. So I have my 18 beads here, and that is going to be the height of our little square. And I pull it down towards the end of my thread until I hit that stopper bead. And then I like to wrap it around my finger like that. And then I pick up one more bead. And now I'm going to skip the first bead of my 18 beads there, and then bring my needle through the second bead. And when you pull your thread tightly, you should have a little triangle that looks like this. And then we're going to do it again. We're going to pick up one more bead, and then we're going to skip a bead and go through the following bead. And when you pull it tightly, you should have another little triangle like that. And then we do it again, skip a bead, go through the next bead. And you're going to keep working down the row in this fashion. So picking up a bead, skipping a bead, going through the next bead until you get to the end of the row. Now, if you need a slower, more detailed explanation of this, I will link below the other peyote stitch videos that I have. And they go much more slowly, but I was doing this one quickly because I know that I have more in-depth videos here. So here we are on the last bead, and you should have something that looks like this. And we're going to push that stopper bead over to keep it from falling apart, just to create that tension there to get you through these first couple of rows, especially if you're a newbie. So now we're going to work back in the opposite direction, and we're going to put beads in between these sort of up beads, the beads that are sticking up. So I'm picking up one bead, and I'm going through the next bead that is sticking up like that. And then I'm going to continue across the row like that, picking up another bead, going through the next up bead. And it's really just as simple as this. This is called even count peyote stitch, flat peyote stitch. And if you look through my YouTube channel. Actually, I'll link them all below. I'll put all the peyote stitch videos below. I have rings you can make and bracelets you can make. I have some free patterns, so take a look if you're interested in learning more. Here I am at the end of this row, and I'm going to go ahead and flip that over again and then work in the opposite direction. So I'm working from the bottom to the top each time, and I do the same thing. Also on my website, I have started to list some of the color palettes that I've used for these 100 days of beading projects, because it's been a really great way for me to experiment with new color palettes. So if you head over to my website, I've written down some of the recipes, color recipes for you. Okay, so now you just want to keep going back and forth until you have 13 beads on the top and the bottom. So here I'm going to check here, and I don't have quite 13, so I'm going to finish it up. So you want 13 on the top and 13 at the bottom. And once you've reached that, then you have your little square. If you're using a different size bead or a round bead, it might be a different, you might have a different number, but with these beads, that is the number I've been using to get this square. And you should know that it takes me about 20 to 25 minutes to make one square. It will take you a bit longer when you get started, but it doesn't take tons of time. So it is an easy project to just do daily. So now my square is finished, and I'm just going to weave my thread back into the beads. And I want to sort of change directions to create tension so that it doesn't come undone, the thread. So I'm just going to do that now. And then when I'm finished with it, I will clip it. And then I will take that original tail that's hanging off from the beginning, and I will do the same thing. I'll thread that onto a needle, and I'll weave that back into the square as well. So it really is that simple. I've been starting every morning with this practice, and it's been a really great way to sort of center myself and clear my thoughts for the day. And it's my own personal form of meditation, because personally I have trouble sort of sitting completely still. So this is the way that's been working for me, and I hope it will work for you too. Okay, bye.